Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here, Morbid Team Entertainment. Here I've got a Fujiga Single-8 Z450. Alright, the issue is down here in the battery compartment. It's corroded. Okay, now my point is with this, someone left the batteries in it and it corroded like a lot of these cameras did. Okay, so my point at this is simply, it doesn't make a difference if it's Single-8 or Super-8. Okay, if the batteries corrode in it, I hear a lot and read a lot of people saying, what can I do to repair this? Where can I get the original part? Well, you don't really need the original part. Okay, it's down inside there are simply springs, and these springs can be replaced. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to show you how you can do this. Okay, so take a look at there inside. You can see the damage inside of there with the corrosion. One's even broken off. Okay, inside of there. So that's a problem, that needs to be replaced. So you need to also see what type of damage is going on up into the grip in a situation like this. Okay, so do you need to dismantle this at times? Yes. Is this too much of a problem? No, it's really no big of an issue. Okay, so the springs are simply like so. Alright, let's put these in view and let's get a good close-up on these springs. There we go. That should be good right there. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got two different types. So these are the most popular. Here's one like this. You can even stretch these out if you need it, especially this one here at my finger. Okay, you can also clip it off, and that's going to be going on a good bit. There's also this type, and there's a whole lot more just like this and different varieties. All you got to do is again use your clipper, your soldering iron, a screwdriver, and you're on your way to the repair. Are you going to find the exact type of spring to replace the one inside of the grip right here? Probably not. Does it make a difference? No, it does not. On the average, all that you need is a clean spring to put in there and replace to make a good connection with your batteries. Alright, so first we want to see what type of damage is inside here in the grip, and that just simply takes unscrewing it. May you have to deal with some wires? Yeah, a little bit, but not much. So from the time you get the screws out and you lift the grip off, well, yeah, you're doing a lot better. So you can see what's going on inside of here to get a complete vantage point of any type of issues. You're looking for more rust and corrosion is what you're looking for inside of there, around the wires and anything else. Rust on the metal that needs to be cleaned off. Okay? True, as I always say, it's best to send your camera to a service technician for repair. They know best. Okay? Any mistakes you make upon your camera, a camera, person or persons, in any attempt to repair your camera, a camera, are all on you. Is this generally pretty easy? Yeah, it generally is. So I can see my area around in here is clean. That's great. No rust on the metal. No corrosion inside of here on the wires or the connections right there. So this is great news. So it means it's just got up to the springs right there. I mean, you know what? One even fell out, you know, just a moment ago when I turned the grip over. It's inside there. You know, it's full of corrosion. You can probably see that, right? So that's the issue at hand. And that is what we got to remove right there. So what you want to look around for inside of here, down in between the springs, are tiny screws, micro screws that hold those aluminum plates on. Okay, they can be in the center of those pieces of aluminum right there connected to the springs. Unfortunately, this model doesn't have any. Some do, some don't, and this goes for Super 8 cameras as well. Different brands are different. It just depends. Okay, so this means I'm going to have to go in this camera and I'm going to have to dismantle this stuff right here. So a camera like this, yeah, you'd probably send it to a technician. But let's just take a closer look. So if you look around at this screw right here at the end of my pencil eraser, once I get it in there, right there you'll see that screw is connected to a plastic housing on the grip. So if I go over here, you're going to see the same thing. Okay, see there at the end of my pencil eraser? Screw, gray plastic grip right there. Okay, so this button right here, it's just sitting there right now. It's going to come out. So we just unscrew that. If you need to take photos, take photos. In a situation like this, I have to see how everything sits. This copper part is sitting up under this chrome piece of metal right there. So I'm going to have to unscrew these two right there. Alright. So I'll start with that. You could run into no movement of screws. That's typical. These cameras haven't been taken apart since the date of manufacturing, and that's a long time ago. Here I've had to use a trick that happens at times where the screw right there, the Phillips, I can't get it off, you know, with my Craftsman Phillips. Okay, so what I had to do is I have to use a flathead, and the flathead gets in there and removes it. So you can try that sometimes. All I'm really going to do now is get this stuff out. This is the camera that's just, I've got really just a, it's just sitting around on the parts shelf. So, am I going to be repairing it? Maybe, maybe not. You know, it just depends if I get some more part for it. Well, someone started taking some parts off of it, so it leads me to believe maybe there's something wrong with it. Who knows? See, there we go again. And there it is, just freeing that right up. Put my finger over this, seems to have some pressure on it. Alright, let's see where this is going to go. Alright, so I'm just going to peel this back. Just like so. Okay, that button right there, I'm just going to push that in and I can bring that out just like that. I can get that out of the way. So this way I've got room to work. Okay. And there we are. We're starting to see some of the problem right here. Okay. And right there. These things are just bent on here. Just like that. That's how those springs are sitting on there. They're just bent. Just like that. So just bend it off. Okay. Just pull it back out of there. Okay, so this lot I gotta take out of here. Long screwdriver pull. Sometimes you may have a part fly across the room, sometimes you may not. Who knows? Alright, so I'm going to pull this stuff out of here right there. Okay? That's the battery check, obviously. You pull that out and around. And check that on the back there for any type of corrosion, which it's clean. Alright. Okay, so here we are, right there. And I can just take these battery springs, bend these things up, remove them. Yeah, I just broke that thing off. Right out of there, an old one. Safety glasses are wise. Alright, so there we are. So let's turn it around. See what we got. So there we are. If I can go in here and retrieve something. Okay, it looks like maybe this one here. Well, there's a piece of it. See how corroded it is? It's really in bad shape. Okay, so now I've got to get the base of this thing. Alright. So another one. Okay. So it's this one right down here. Hopefully it looks like I could reach down in there and just pull it right out, but sometimes you're fooled. It's holding on. Okay, there you go. Check out all that rust and corrosion. And by the way, before you take these out, do remember the orientation of the positive and negative, and it's also listed here. Okay, on each side. All right, so let me continue here. Okay, so I got the rest of this stuff right here, and you can see it, so all I got to do is just dump it out right on the mat right there. Okay, and there it is. You can check out all the rust and corrosion right there. It's really bad, especially when they're breaking off like that. So then all you got to do in a situation like that, seeing that these are like that, is just select one of your springs you have installed. So this is a type of spring I would select out of my collection right here. As you see, it has an extension that comes right around to this part right here, this other side of the spring, which basically here is the same thing. Okay, all I had to do is get some wiring down and put this attachment down at the bottom. Okay, and do my hookups that way. Other than that, I've got some cleaning to do. Here, all that rust and corrosion right inside of there. And right in here. Once I get the work done with soldering, that type of a deal, getting everything fixated inside of there, it's just time for reassembly. Alright. Again, this is not particularly a parts camera. I may repair this one. It's got an issue right here. This part is missing, and it's just this part on the dial right here. That's really about it. And then I had to check it out, do a bit of a film test, and then I can either keep the camera or sell it, do what I wish with it. So usually repairing that in the battery compartment right there, in the grip, if you will, the battery springs where they've been rusted and corroded, generally the repair is not that intense. Sometime it is, but still, that's why I always suggest you send your camera to a service technician, because everyone, they know best. All right, but sometimes it's really simple, you know, and it's really basic the majority of the time, and you don't have to search for that, you know, that original part, because usually today there is no original part. You just put these in here and it's a go. All you need is a new fresh set of springs to make a positive contact, a clean contact with those batteries, and you're good to go. So for more videos like this, do subscribe. That's right. Until next time, later.